Did you see the funeral? The Pope's funeral? I watched some of it. You see, I'm not a religious man. I don't see why you need to go to church to do the right thing. No. You can be a decent person and do good by people, you know, help people out and stuff. You don't need to go to church to do that. You just don't. You know. You don't need to fund their new roof either. But you see, I was watching it because I was quite interested to see, you know, whether or not Zelensky's, I heard he's going to be going, what have you. So I thought, you know, see, Vladimir Zelensky, you know, the Ukrainian president. And I thought it was going to be quite interesting because I knew that Donald Trump was going. He already told us he's going. He was going to have a lovely time, he says. They're looking forward to it, going to a funeral. It's lovely, isn't it? You know, what the fuck? Anyway, he didn't even wear a black suit. He wore a blue suit to Donald Trump. And then, you know, Zelensky didn't wear a suit. Well, he was dressed in black. But that's his trademark. That's who Zelensky is. He basically said he's not going to wear a suit until the war's over. There's plenty of videos and clips online of Zelensky wearing suits, you know. That man, Vladimir Zelensky, is a hero. As far as I'm concerned, he's a hero. He's been there on the front line, he's been supporting his troops, he's been doing everything he can to try his best to make sure they've got everything that they need to fend off the invaders. And they've done amazingly well. Amazingly well. They've basically, from the start, they had some help to get started. And you could argue Donald Trump helped with that at the beginning, to some degree. Then obviously Boris Johnson, UK. Rishi Sunak, he did as well. And now Keir Starmer, you know, UK. And Biden, they all got funding together. And then the European Union as well got together and, you know, sanctions and funding and stuff like that and supplying missiles. In the EU, they weren't even expecting the money back. You say Donald Trump wants all his money back now, you see. Because he thinks it's his money, you see. He just looks at the dough. That's who he is, isn't it? That's who he's always been. He'll do anything he can to get that minerals deal with Ukraine. It shows, well, I've won something. Because so far, Donald Trump hasn't won anything. He hasn't achieved anything but ostracise pretty much every other country out there. Upset all his neighbours. Even the Pope doesn't respect him. Or didn't respect him. His face, all the pictures I've seen of the Pope with Donald Trump wasn't one of any, you know. And why is it that Donald Trump, he thinks he's above everybody, right? He stood there in some images I saw, this from the last time, but when he actually met the Pope several years ago. He's always got to be in front. Even if it's just by a little bit. His arms are always like, you know, blocking the view of the Pope. And look what he did to the Queen when he, you know, had his last state visit. Poor little Queenie, she was trying to get past him, and he kept, it's like he's doing it on purpose. You know, she was behind him trying to catch up. He's like he's just walking off and leaving him behind him. I thought, man has no respect. He doesn't read the room well at all. He's just, he's an oaf. Complete and utter oaf. And he gets away with it. And he's always got away with it. And that's probably down to his father. An absolute tyrant of a man. And that's what Donald Trump is. He's a tyrant of a man. He's a tangerine tyrant. Now, watching that funeral yesterday, when Zelensky came up on the screen, people, you know, see him on the screen and what have you, everyone cheered. Everyone came up to Zelensky, shook his hand, and they wanted to have talks with him and stuff like that. It was an opportunity to show some solidarity. And yes, Donald Trump did have a little, rather strange chat in the middle of a big room on a couple of little chairs with Zelensky. What was said, I don't know. And then Donald Trump makes this rather bizarre post on his Truth Social saying that maybe that, well, basically the President Putin was playing him, and he doesn't want peace. He doesn't want an end to the war. Of course, he's the one who bloody invaded them. They invaded Ukraine. Never heard him such stupid remarks from this blithering idiot. hopefully something positive will come out of it. Maybe Donald Trump has seen the light. Well, stick a hole in the ground for the Pope, maybe. But he's just... I get my worms out the minute. Not my Bobby Brown worm, but no. Get my worms out, my words. Because the thing that's... it really gets me is that Donald Trump has ostracised all these countries, okay? All these people, all these world leaders. But for what? Well, for what? What has he achieved? What has he actually done for you? That's his job, by the way. He's supposed to be working for you, not the other way around. What has he achieved? I don't know, just... For Christ's sake, he feckin' fell asleep during the ceremony. He sat there with that asleep. I know he's an old man and that, but Christ almighty, embarrassing for the United States to have that man to be your figurehead. An orange figurehead. It's been tangoed, that he has. Now, I just hope that, something positive comes out of all this. It's bad enough that, J.D. Vance there went the day before and took a soul, and the day after he pegged it. I know J.D. Vance didn't kill the Pope, right? But I'd just like to think that he did, okay? Just... it's my childish side coming out. But a few days ago, Ukraine was bombarded by feckin' ballistic missiles, attacking apartment blocks, with people just either going to their work or just, touring and fro and doing their thing with their kids and stuff, So drones and ballistic missiles start raining down on them just again. It's just... And what did Donald Trump was a great idea? Well, like he did on another Truth social post before, he decided it was a great idea to tell Putin just to stop. For Christ's sake. What's that going to do? He ain't going to listen to him. Putin don't respect anyone but himself. And his generals and people like that, He respects strength, and he don't see strength in Donald Trump. Donald Trump isn't strong. Otherwise, he wouldn't be like, flitting with these tariffs on, and then they're off, and they're on, and they're off. He's not a strong man. He's a buffoon. He's a joke. Just look up his past and his history, and look at the details of it, and crikey, you should be able to make that conclusion for yourself. He's a blithering idiot. And we were all supposed to think, don't worry, Donald Trump's got it all under control. He's going to stop the fucking war in 24 hours. And now he's saying that it was that he was being, what was the phrase he used? Well, basically he was joking. He was lying, basically. That's what he really was doing. He was lying. But he's going to tell you that he was lying. But here's what he's doing. He was lying to the American people. They bought it like fools that they are. So all this is going on, all of a sudden Donald Trump realised that Vladimir Putin is literally bombing the shit out of everything. Is it dementia? Maybe. Or does he just have an attention span of a fucking goldfish on meth? I really don't know. Putin ain't going to pay any attention to him. The only thing Putin's going to pay attention to is more military support and potentially boots on the ground. That's the only thing Putin's going to pay attention to. He ain't going to flick the bloody, press the button and stuff like that for the... That's an end game. That's an end game for him as well. Why would you want that? That'd be all his wealth gone, that'd be all his family gone, that'd be everything gone. They don't have a means to shoot all these missiles out of the sky. The flicking satellite that we thought he might have the means to do this, shoot them all out of the sky, is bloody well spinning out of control. the damage that's been done to the United States and your reputation. And this reflects on the reputation of the American people, all American people, no matter whether you voted for them or not. You see, you all chucked into the same pot because it's so-called democracy. This is where democracy doesn't work. It's when you've got an uneducated, foolish society. I mean, just education. People don't read, don't take things in, they don't know the basics. You don't need to be educated necessarily. You just need to have a modicum of decency. Not to fuel your lives and your emotions on the hate. There's just so much of it. It might look like sometimes I do that, you know. It's hard not to, because I'm so bewildered with what's going on. There goes my pencil. We broke lead now, isn't I? Oh, dear me. Anyway, what do you reckon? Please leave it in the comments down below. If you want Sports Channel, you can do it on Patreon or Buy Coffee, and links are down below. There they are. What a fucking mess, eh? But, you know, share the videos. Boop, 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 boop. Toodaloo.